Hey Violet, how you doing? It's your daddy here. I hope you had a good day as usual. And yeah, I got a new storybook for you from the Big Blue Book of Beginner Books. You see all those bees like that? That's bee. How many are there? One, two, three, four, five. Five bees. B. Big Blue Book of Beginner Books. That's what you call alliteration. That's when the first letter of a word is the same as other words. Yeah. But before we begin, one thing I thought about that I remember from when I was your age is sometimes I would have trouble with motivation. Motivation is what drives us to do things. So when we don't have any motivation, it makes us feel like, well, what's the point? Or it can make us feel like, well, I want to do something, but I just don't feel motivated. So it's like, and sometimes that has to do with something called executive dysfunction. That's neither here nor there. That's a whole another can of worms I'm not going to get into right now. But when Daddy was in school, his teachers taught him something to say, and I'm going to teach you that. It goes, I think I can, I know I can, I will. So when Daddy was your age, when Daddy was a little boy and he needed to do something and he needed motivation, I would repeat to myself, I think I can, I know I can, I will. And now, even when daddy's an adult, I still say that to myself. I say it out loud to myself. It's okay to talk to yourself sometimes. Don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not. But I don't know. People might think you're weird if you talk to yourself. But guess what? Most people do it. They just do it when nobody's watching. Anyway, if you ever have trouble wanting to make yourself do something. Maybe it's something that you don't want to do, but that you need to do, like a chore. Or maybe it's something that you want to do, but you just don't feel like you can do it. Or maybe sometimes life gets so hard that we feel defeated and we get a defeatist mindset that makes us think, well, what's the point? You know, what's the point in doing anything? Sometimes we people fall into what's called depression, like really intense sadness, but not just sadness, but inactivity, where they don't do anything. And that has been there before because it seems like everything is pointless. Um, but you know, uh, sometimes it seems like life is just everything. One thing about life, nothing worth having comes easy. If it's something worth having, it's going to take hard work. And, you know, we humans, we were not created for that. When God created us, He put us in a garden of Eden that gave us everything we could ever need and want. And that's why now, well, things didn't work out in the Garden of Eden. I'll tell you about that. I also got you Bible stories for kids, and this will tell you more about that. But that's why life is hard. That's why life seems so hard now because it was never supposed to be hard like this. But when push comes to shove, when life gets hard, and when you have to take action, just repeat to yourself, I think I can, I know I can, I will. I think I can, I know I can, I will. And you can. You can do a lot more than you even think you can do, than you realize you can do. You have what's called unlocked potential inside of you. And sometimes, if we just push ourselves to do the right thing, you'd be surprised what you can learn about yourself. And then the more you realize how much untapped potential you have inside of you, the more excited you get because you realize, oh, I can do this thing. You know, Daddy took you roller skating one time, and you had the little a little thing to hold on to while you roller skated, but you were only like 3 years old, 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old. You were just a little thing. But once you started skating yourself, I told you you're doing it, and you said, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm skating. I was so proud of you. And you were so proud of yourself. You had a big smile on. I have that video. I'll post it so you can see. And whenever you feel like you need a little boost of motivation, you can look at that video and you can see what you accomplished because you believed in yourself and because you knew you could and you tried it and you did it, and I'm so proud of you. Anyway, uh I spent a lot of time talking about that. Let's get to the book. Today we're going to read The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman. Let's see what page it's on. We have a table of contents here. It tells us what page number each story is on. Here's The Best Nest, and it's on page 263. 263. The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman. Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. You ever hear birds singing? That's one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite sounds, excuse me. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house. I love my nest. In all the world, my nest is best. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It's not the best nest, she said. Uh-oh. I'm tired of this old place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. Oh, is she not happy? Happy wife, happy nest, right? Oh. Anyway, so they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. Oh, there's a hole in a tree. That's that's what they're talking about. That might be their new nest. Let's see. But somebody else had already moved in. It's a raccoon. He said, get out of here. This is my hole. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it. you. Oh, you know what's gonna happen. Oh, you're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. Somebody's foot. They putting a foot in the big. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. You know what that is. Do you know what that is? I've always wanted a house with a flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. There's the mailman. That's a mailbox. That's what they put up to tell you there's mail in the mailbox. Oh no, look at that. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You made too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. They picked a church steeple. They flew in, they looked around. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird. I like this big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest. I can already see some problems with that. They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some hay. Hay is for horses. They got some soda straws and broom straws. That's the soda. You probably know it as a pop. Some people say soda, some people say pop. Some people say soda pop. They've got some sweater string. They took it right off the man's sweater. Oh my goodness. They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing. They just taking everything. They got some horsehair. Oh, look at you! Don't look too happy. They got some man hair. Oh. Soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair, and all the man hair that they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. See, remember when I said nothing worth having comes easy? It all takes hard work. This nest is really the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. I could already see some problems with that, but we'll see what happens. Oh, look, he's singing. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house, I love our nest. In all the world, our nest is best. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. There's Mr. Parker. I wonder what he's going to do. I think I already know. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. Mm. Uh-oh. The rope rang the bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Boom, boom, boom. Look, he's pulling the rope to swing the bell, to ring the bell. But that's where the nest is. Ooh, saw that coming. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Pew! Bong, 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 bong. That's the sound a bell makes. Look, there's Mr. Bird, too. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and man hair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? Ooh, what a mess. All that hard work. They did all that hard work and they felt so good about themselves, but then it was all for naught. And it all just got all messed up just that quickly. Sometimes that really takes a lot out of somebody. But anytime we fall down, we get back up and keep going. This is better than staying down. I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. Oh no, he's looking for his wife because he cares about her. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. He looked down into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There was a big fat smile on the fat cat's face. There were some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear, he cried. This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. Oh, he said. Mr. Bird flew off. I'll never see Mrs. Bird again, he cried. It was getting dark. It began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. He's sad because he loved his wife. And he went through all that trouble to try to make her happy too when she wanted a better house. Even though he was happy with the house that they had at first, when his wife says she wanted a better house, a better nest, he went and they looked for a better nest because that's what a man does or a bird does when he loves his wife. He wants to make her happy, even if he's already happy. Crash! Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. I wonder what it was. It was his old house. That old house that Mrs. Bird hated. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. And Mr. Bird went in. And there was Mrs. Bird, sitting there singing. I love my house. I love my nest. In all the world, this nest is best. I guess she came to appreciate the house after all. You here, gasped Mr. Bird. You here, gasped Mr. Bird. Sorry. A gasp is when somebody goes, that's a gasp. I thought you hated this old nest. Mrs. Bird smiled. I used to hate it, she said, but a mother bird can change her mind, you see. There is no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird. She laid an egg. And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too. The end. You know, that's the thing sometimes. Sometimes we don't appreciate things we have, and then we look for something better, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And sometimes that's what it takes for us to appreciate what we had to begin with. But a good man will try to make you happy anyway, you know? So, anyway, that was The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a good night. And I hope you tell your mama how much you love her and how much you care about her. Give her lots of hugs and kisses. And always remember, you're smart, you're important, and you're kind. Remember that. Anyway, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you to the end of the universe and back. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a good night. Bye bye.